Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. We have the new ERRA LP that dropped March 6th, and I'm pretty stoked about it, honestly. I need a little kick in the ass today, you know what I mean? And this should provide some heaviness, maybe some even vibey heaviness, which I mean, today is. I'm recording this on 420, so I guess a little vibiness is nice for all the partakers. Wow, someone just said, "What is 420?" I'm a good boy. Oh God, you guys are distracting me. You guys are distracting me already. No, I'm pretty stoked about this. I grew up listening to Texas in July. I did not like metalcore when I was growing up at all. And then my buddy got me into Texas July, August Burns Red, all that good stuff, right? And I found this band through Texas in July, obviously, JT Cavey. I'm not sure how he pronounces his last name. He was the vocalist for, or maybe still is, actually. I guess they're not. They just put out an EP like a year or two ago for Texas in July. And he does ERRA as well. So, like I said, I seen ERRA with Winchester and Stick in Columbus, and it was so much fun. It was in the middle of summer, and it was on pavement, and that was a little rough. I don't know if I've ever been so hot at a show. Like, it was really hot. But regardless of that, this band's I love the kind of vibe that they put stuff with. Because it still has kind of that metalcore sound. They have the metalcore sound, but yeah, the vibes are just great. I like them. I'm trying to think of what my favorite album from ERRA would be, and I don't even know. I really like Drift and Neon more so than a lot of their other stuff. I still enjoy songs from a lot of their albums, but I think those two specifically I really, really enjoyed. I do feel like I remember liking Cure, though, as well. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump on in here, and let's hit this track number uno, Stelliform.
Give it up, get back, let's give it.
Oh yeah. So it still has the ERRA sound, which I love. You know, you have your very JT hitting those verses real nice. Again, that's like my connection to Texas in July. That reminds me of them. And then you hit that beautiful vibey middle kind of chorus section, and you have the lighter guitars throughout that kind of paint that vibe that I was telling you guys about. But you're still having your traditional metalcore sounds. So I like this a lot. I'm gonna go with a 7.5. I think this is a great track. Further, Eden is next.
Delusion is demanding of repeated histories. I will die inside the lines of countless thousand other dreams. Further down below, swimming through the static, growing cynical, and the edge is symptomatic. Through the panic, I find my peace. I'm averse to acquiescence, to a digital time leash, losing ground and keeping essence with our spirits being breached. How much love is lost when the rush is automatic, when you're mine alone and the notes are chromatic. Through the panic, I find my peace on the other side of the pact I made with grief. Dive slow, shatter into the sun. Too close, pressure I can't outrun. And you know I can't be the only one. Drowning, how far can we sink into the abyss?
That was a cool sounding guitar bit there that started during the breakdown. Kind of made you feel like you're falling down some stairs, and then kind of got more. I don't know what you would call it, but it reminded me of like '90s techno, like that kind of. But it was obviously a guitar. I'm gonna go 7.5 with this one too. This is also nice. I love how the clean vocalist Jesse and JT just kind of went back and forth. That was really nice. Gore of Being. I just love how they mix the screams and the cleans here. I was thinking about this, and it's kind of odd because I have this like weird thing with metalcore where I don't want it to be too radio rocky, and a lot of times when you add the cleans in there, it does feel rather radio rocky. I also don't want it so heavy that there's no melody there. So like I have like this very thin kind of in between that I like, and I gotta say I really respect ERRA for having like the clean vocals in kind of like the higher like guitar notes and stuff that kind of make this feel softer than it really is. But yet it doesn't seem to be taking away from that heaviness, if you will. There's a really nice balance. It doesn't feel like radio metalcore to me. And I really like that. I'm going to go 7-7 with this. This was really 7-8. We're going to go 7-8 with that. Black Cloud is next.
The water's reflection, distant English runs away out of loosened holes. No sense of direction, can't speak the language. I'm a ghost roaming, blowing smoke all alone. So where are you now? Comatose, floating up and out. Where are you now? In the shape of shitty waves of clouds. Where are you now? Are you hiding out after years? Let's just around kaleidoscopes in the passive perception, the sky in motion, painting waves in the morning dawn. Parasol lift carries you far along as the foam on the coast overflows. Where are you now? Trace back the ruin on the long way out. Where are you now? Are you hiding out after years? Let's just around kaleidoscopes in the air. A black cloud
See, like this, I feel like if most bands did a sound like this, it would just sound super mainstream. But they had some like low key shredding in the background. Maybe I'm full of shit and it's just I like the band, so I don't think they're mainstream sounding. But I don't think this sounds super mainstream. I love the vibe here. I'm gonna go with a flat 7 on this one. This is also in that great category for your boy. For your boy, Cicada Siren is the next track, and we're moving pretty close to the halfway point at the moment. So after this, we should be around there roughly. 11 tracks. So. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think this is a good track, but comparatively to the first 4 tracks, I don't think it's great. But I will say I love the vocal swap ups that we have going on here. They just kind of are layering over each other. It feels very organic the way they're entering the song. It doesn't feel very formulaic, and I always appreciate that. That being said, this one's kind of a different sound. It still had their sound thematically, but like they tried some different stuff here. So I feel like maybe on first listen, I'm not appreciating it as much as I will on a few other listens. But I do want to say I recognize that I think this is a nice mix up for the album as a whole. It just sounded a little bit different. Maybe not as easy to take in as the first four, but still really solid track. I'm gonna go with the 6.3. And honestly, most of the time, I feel like with ERRA, I don't have this much of a solid rating already built when I start an album. Typically, ERRAs, I listen through the album and go, that was pretty good. And then I listen through it again and I'm like, God damn, that was really good. So I'm just happy to see that that we have some we have some nice positive ratings to start off with. I was a little worried. I put this off for a few weeks just because I wanted my hype to die down a little bit. Echo Sonata. Sonata.
It's out of my head this time. Down to be a passenger on a star-crossed ride. The fear is overwhelming. Behind your eyes, the slippery, you welcome my peace begins. I feel it all around me. Are you still breathing? Can you feel your soul leaving? It's so into the night. Someone's keep bleeding. Return to the moment. Feeling found and obeying. To feel it till the end. But from the marrow, empty and hollow, initiated and cold. Feed on me till the end. Fell through the ground tonight and found you deep beneath it, mirrored in perfect light. My mask reflects the mimic behind your eyes. The slipper, you welcome my peace kindling daily life. I feel it all around. Are you still breathing? Can you feel your soul leaving? It's so into the night. Someone's keep bleeding. The adversary's face is growing clearer. My foe mirror. Yeah. Return to the moment. Being found and obeying. To feel me till the end. I collapse into ruins. Solid surrounding. One soul for you and I.
Yeah, I'm loving this, guys. Just JT's vocals go so hard on this track. The cleans are just perfect, and then I love this like the depth of the music, like the sound sonically. It feels almost as if like you hear the your typical sounds, right? But if you listen really far in the background, there's like still some like shredding going on back there. There's some other like sounds happening back there. And it almost gives this like illusion of like looking down in a well. You can't see all the way down there, right? But you're like you almost feel like there's more buried in there than there actually is. So I thought that was really cool. This 5 is solid. I'm gonna go flat A here. This is my favorite track so far on the album. Gore of Being is definitely like up there with this, but I think this might be my favorite. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, Lucid Threshold. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is another one I really enjoyed. Maybe not as much as a lot of the stuff on the album, but comparatively to maybe what I've liked already from ERRA and Texas in July and other stuff, this is I go like a 6-8 here on this one. I think that's a good track. Man, this is shaping up very, very, very nicely. We have 4 more tracks. 4 more tracks, and we wrap this up. It's one of those, I'm already kind of excited to listen to this in my casual before I'm even done with the rating. So let's hopefully we finish out strong here with these 4 tracks. Spiral of Liminal Infinity. Oh man, this is just honestly there were some really beautiful moments in between the heaviness here. Uh the instrumental throughout this whole thing is just really, really, really good. Um Man, this is great. I'm gonna go 7.5 with this one. 7.5. I think this is in the great category for sure. Shocked how much I am loving this album. It's such a good way. Such a good way. Let's go ahead and we have these last three tracks. One, Many Names of God. Oh, that's going to flow nicely into the next track. Let's make this quick. 7.3. It's great. I love how heavy this sounds, and yet they still managed to fit some melody in there. I don't know. Like, there was some just really off the wall ideas here that I haven't seen a lot that utilized a lot in metalcore, and especially with those like drums. Like, just some of the weird stuff they did in this track were really, really cool. I like how they just tried to push for something different, but it still sounds really cool. Number 2, In the Gut of the Wolf. Very cool outro there, very chill. But I like how heavy this track is, and especially how kind of like it's weird because a lot of times I feel like monotone and heavy doesn't really go well together, but this kind of drawn out and this like just the way he hits that overall like throughout the song, it's not quite monotone, but there's not a lot of melody there, and it's kind of like he's stretching out what he's saying a little bit. I personally like that a lot. I'm gonna go with a 6.9 on this one. This is a good track for sure. Last track here. Let's talk about the album afterwards. Twilight in the Reflection of Dreams. Nice little outro track here.
Say the word and I'll
I really love this outro. I think it's like good pushing great. I'm gonna go 6-6 here. Very very vibey. I I gotta say I'm impressed because like even in some of ERRA's older stuff, there was like an attempt there for like vibes, and they did a good job for the most part. But there were a lot of tracks that just ended up kind of leaving me feel, I don't know, somewhere in the middle towards a lot of it. And like, I was like, it's okay. Obviously there were some bangers on those older albums for sure. And I enjoyed those. But yeah, there's definitely like some tracks that just didn't kind of work out for me personally, but this is completely different. Like all their vibey tracks really had a nice mix, and like it actually had a grabby feel, which was awesome. Um, I want to jump right into this album here. Let's talk about it. I think the heaviness was absolutely fantastic. It wasn't too heavy. There was a nice bit of airiness there. JT, his vocals feel larger than life. They sound great. And the way they utilize them in this album also was really, really well done. Jesse's clean vocals were really, really solid as well. And like I said, in some of ERRA's older stuff, there was like, yeah, there were good cleans. And there was just something that wasn't grabbing me as much as this album is currently grabbing me. So fantastic job there as well. Both guitar from Jesse and Clint did wonderful. I really like how you had those heavy kind of beat down, more of a is it degen? I don't know really how to correctly pronounce that, but I think it's degen. Kind of heaviness to it, but then like in the background, almost like the closest thing that I've listened to that I could honestly, it reminded me of math rock a little bit, where there's like circular kind of patterns in like the lighter guitar stuff. It wasn't quite circular, if that makes sense, but it had that vibe in the background. And then a lot of times it was just shredding away, and that sounded great. The bass, the drums were so good. Oh my God. The drums throughout this, fantastic. Again, they kind of matched JT's louder than life vocals. Like this, the drums were fantastic here. And huge shout out to everybody on the instrumental side, because it just took me for a ride, and I really enjoyed that. Didn't really expect it, but I enjoyed it. Shout out to Daniel Bronstein, who did the production, engineering, mixing, and mastering. Fucking bang up job, dude. Really, really, really nice. I like this a lot. Shit, where am I going to rate this sucker? I'm going to go, I think this is my favorite ERRA record. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think this is my favorite ERRA record that I've heard. I'm going to go, I think this is a superb record. I am going to rate this an 8.2. So freaking good. Shout out to ERRA. Obviously, guys, if you enjoy their content, make sure you're adding the songs that we just listened to your playlist, share it with your friends, etc. You can buy their merch and see them live is what I suggest, because they did a killer show when I saw them open for, I think it was Devil Wears Prada and Beartooth in Columbus a couple years ago. Me, Chuckles, and my brother went and saw them. And yeah, which was definitely worth it. So very cool there as well. Trying to think if there's anything else I should add to this. I'm stoked I have 2-3 like really heavy albums that I've loved this year. And if you're curious about those other 3, Converge, Love Is Not Enough, really dark and brooding, but really solid, and Mull's Dream Crush, which is like honestly matches vibes, I think, with this album. It's different completely. That's like post black metal and dream pop mixed together, but it just has such a nice balance. So if you're curious on some of the other like heavier albums I've enjoyed this year, definitely check out Mull's Dream Crush and Converge, Love Is Not Enough. If you're on Twitch here, hit that follow. If you're watching the re-upload on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe. But most importantly, let me know what you think of this ERRA album in the comments. That's part of the fun here, is the discourse and kind of seeing where my viewpoints differ from other people's or where they match up. And a lot of times they differ, which is fine. I personally love to see that that difference. So make sure you drop your thoughts down below. I'm Pyro. I hope you guys enjoyed. I sure as hell did.